Hello, Gino. How you doing? Hello, YouTube. How's everybody doing out there? It's Mike in Detroit. Let's do a couple more pages in the Arnie Berle Jazz and Popular Guitar book. This book right here. Um, this was making a series on kind of piano boot camp, and it occurred to me that this Arnie Berle book is kind of like boot camp too. So I guess I just like doing these little musical push-ups here. So last time I made a video out of this book, I was on page 31, and I think that's a nice progression to play. So watch that video. So now we're up to, we might skip around a little bit here, but we're now up to page 32 and 33, which I think that's another one I think requires a lot of time. So it has to do with stop chord inversions. And I know that we play these chords all the time. So let me move my camera down this way, that way. And hopefully you have this book because it's well worth whatever it costs. Grab it off Amazon. It doesn't say how much it costs, but whatever it costs, 20 something bucks or whatever it costs, it's well worth it. Now you might say that G chord, it's a triad. That's a root 3/5 triad. I'm never gonna play that, but I would take the time to learn that, because if you take that low G away, you have a G triad on the second, third, and fourth strings. Now you might need this triad. So later on, when you're improvising, these triads might come in handy, especially triad pairs. So, but for now, for comping, you're right. That sound for comping a chord sounds a little bit kind of cowboyish. Let me move this over here. Let's see if I can give you a little bit better view. Yeah, that's. I don't know why. Okay, there it goes. It was fuzzy there for a second. So let me put this back over here, and now we're in business. So that is the G triad, but for now I'm going to skip over those three. But these major 7 chords are the stock, or that's your stock. Before you get to 9s and 11s and 13s, that kind of stuff, you really want to have these 2 pages down. So there's G major 7, and here's another one. Here's the second, and here's another one. And here's another one. I don't. Oh, I ran out of camera space. So let's move it over here. And hopefully that's not as fuzzy to you as I'm looking at it. It looks a little fuzzy, but we'll see. So you want to have that pretty much down. So I'm going to put my little drum machine on and drill that. Maybe. I said maybe. Oh. Well, maybe I'll just do it myself here. Let's go backwards. Let's go backwards. Now, you want to do the same with all of these inversions. Maybe it's a G7 chord, and it's all off the low E string. So really, we're playing a G, B, That's why it's called inversions. So let's do G7. Now, I would take the time to think about this just a little bit before you just grab shapes and run. What's the difference between a G major and a G7 chord? It's just one note difference. And that is, so this is a 1-7-3-5 chord, but I mean, but it's the scale degrees. That's a major, 1, 7, 3, and 5. 1, 7, 3, 5. So that means the 7th of the chord has to be flatted. So under my little third finger there, it has to go that way. It has to get flat. So I changes my finger around. Now, pretty much anybody who's picked up a guitar knows this chord. Now let's do this one. Now the 5th is on the bottom. Now you know how we do it. If that's new to you, let's chunk it. Let's chunk it there. This chord is pretty much a staple. It's been around. It's been around for years. I mean, but it is a G7 chord. And then, so same thing. Drill that. Now, the other thing is on all of these chords, where is G? That's how you find these doggone things. You're not going to just play G chords. You're going to play F chords and B flat chords and etc. So G is on the low E string here. Now we're going to go over 2 strings down 2 octaves. There's another G. So anytime the root is on the D string and you want to play a 7 chord, here you go. Where's the next G? Here it is. The root is on the B string. And here's your shape. And if you can't see my hands that well, it's printed right in this book here. Now G is on the G string at the 12th fret. Remember, this was major, but the 7th has to be flatted. So you spell a G7, 1, 3, 5, flat 7. You spell a major 1, 3, 5, 7. You spell a 7 chord, 1, 3, 5, and flat 7. Now on page 33 you got minors. How do you spell a minor chord? 1 flat 3, 5, flat 7. So now here was major, right? 7th is here. On my third finger, 3rd is here, right? Both of those have to be flat. That's how you get here. I'll speed this up just a little bit. And you know the drill. Now here we go. Now this one's funky. I hate this one. But means I just gotta drill it. Now if you're not familiar with your guitar neck that well, which I'm not talking to you, Gino, but those of you out there looking at it on YouTube, this is a good way to get familiar with it because let's just say we're playing these minor chords. Well, now I want to learn the low E string. Well, let's play A minor. Let's play a C minor. Let's play a B minor. Let's play a F minor. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a G. That's not a B minor. That was a G flat minor. Sorry about that. So let's start from the F, G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, A, B flat, B, C, D flat, D, E flat, and then E. Now the next string we went to was the D string. We did this minor chord, right? That's a G minor chord. Well, this must be G flat. This must be F. It's a good way to explore your fretboard and then learn where your notes are on the fretboard. I remember when I first started playing guitar, which guitar is my second or third instrument, because I'm a piano player, really. Just at the core, I'm a piano player. But I said, piano's easy because, I can see where things are. On the guitar, everything looks the same, so you got to figure out where the notes are. So you can roam around with this chord shape. This is a minor chord shape, right? I know I'm playing somebody minor. Then you say freeze. What is this chord I'm playing right now? It is an A flat minor. Now a little trick. See my first finger? I can quickly go up in my mind. If I don't know that the 6th fret on the D string is A flat, I can go up 2, over 2, and if I know my E string, see that's an octave. That's an octave. So it's going to be the same thing. So here is, I can check it, jump that, back, and go back. That's just how I practice. I try to make it fun. I try to engage my mind and my hands at the same time. I just don't want to mindlessly learn things because then I'll forget it. So now I'll go right back here and say, here's that A flat minor. What's the next inversion of A flat minor? And now go back here. Now that's a little bit beyond the book. You really want to learn these chord shapes because they are foundational to jazz. Jazz just plays a lot of 7 chords. And then you'll translate that into all kind of songs that you want to play. I think the trap is, these inversions are so good because the trap is that once you learn this G7 chord, right? A lot of people say, I'm good, I'm done. I got G7 down. So let's say I'm playing a 2-5-1, right? So I'm playing this D minor. I watch people, even on bandstands, they'll go here, and then they'll go here, and they'll go here. But in versions, you don't have to do that. So here's a 2, right? Here's a 2. Watch, this finger does not have to move. I just play an inversion. Watch this. So you avoid the trap of always going to your 1 or 2 chords that you're familiar with because you learn this C chord, right? And you learn this G. So you learn this kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But inversions free you up. So I think that's what the next page. Once you got all these inversions figured out, and you play through that drill on page 34. When you get to page 35, you get some practice playing through some of these chord routes using inversions. So they happen to pick the key of A. So let's go with there. Let's go with there. So we got an A major. So if we looked at the last time we did a 1-6-2-5, we did an A. We did this. 1, 6, 2, 5. If I called off those chords, that would be A6, F sharp minor. See that F sharp right there? B minor. Now let's play that same thing on page 35 using voice leading. And you might want that sound, but at least you have choices. The first two chords are the same. Now we got this. We got a B minor 7 this way. Now we got this E7. So you want to drill that until you can get that in some kind of tempo. That just happens to be voice leading. So let's take the next one. We have this one. We have this is one I play a lot. Now, if you have the book, you can read just like I can read. So you want to take these inversions that get you out of the rut of always going back to your familiar chords. On page 36, there's 2 5s, 2 5s, 2 5, 2 5 1, and you cannot find a jazz song that does not have 2 5s in it. So here's D minor and G7. Set down. So 2 5s, especially 2 5s and 2 5 1s, you should be able to play that all over the neck in all kind of different keys. So the theory part is, if I said, what is a 1-6-2-5 in B flat? Okay, so that would be B flat, G minor, C minor, F7. So you might want to get your pencil and piece of paper out and figure out what a 1-6-2-5 in every key is. Let's say we just did A. How about we did G in the earlier. How about C? So we got a 1, 6. That's an A minor, D minor to a G. I'm playing G9. You will be playing 1-6-2-5s or their variations forever. It's just forever. So it's good to know. A lot of times you'll see chord substitutions. Probably we're going to get to that later. But it's a good idea to get a piece of paper out and figure out what 1-6-2-5 in every key is. And that way you can say and play. You can put the piece of paper in front of you, play those chords until you don't need them. On page 37, that's I got rhythm, and that is almost always played in B flat, almost always. Now I got a B flat major, and now my next chord is G7. Don't do this. Don't do that. I mean, unless you want that sound. So, because there are closer G7s to that. Here it is right here. didn't sound right. So, okay. Because I was on the wrong fret. That's so now I'm playing an F minor 7, F minor 7 to a B flat 7. Now we haven't learned 5th string chords yet, but I know how to play this chord right here to an E minor. I'm sure that's coming up in the book, but I already know how to do that. But you see how I'm staying right here in this same position. Now I need a B flat, 2, another B flat. So I'm trying to demonstrate some version of voice leading. It's always going to sound good, easier to play. So let's do that head again. 1, 2, 3. Well, it's a major. Now, when I get to the F minor and B flat, I'm looking for the closest F. There it is right there on the B string. So I got this. Where's the closest B flat? Well, there it is right there. Right now. Where's the closest E flat? Don't go down here. Don't go down here and get that E flat. There's an E flat right there. I can just go to A minor. Now we got now there are actually people that will actually go and get this F7 way up here. I mean, it's correct, but look how it changes the sound. So I need an F. Here's an F right here. So let's go to. And you can finish up the bridge and the next A section by yourself. This is actually a good book. And now let's do a little bit on page 38, 39. Let's close this video out, right? So, let's see if I can guess what the song is. I don't even know. So let's play it the way it's written there. You got an E flat major. The only reason we're playing it that because Arnie Berle hasn't taught us 5th string chords yet. So that wasn't very good voice leading, Arnie, because I could have played that here. But I get it, you know, he hasn't shown us 5th string chords yet, so I get it, so we're going to go down here and do it his way. So he is jumping around a little bit. Here's an E flat 6 or C minor way down here. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't even like it down there. So I don't know if I'm gonna drill that, because you're really drilling. Now if you don't know those chords, it's good to go down here because it takes a different. When you get down here on the guitar, you really have to practice it. I find this chord a lot easier to play than this chord, same shape, to get the right tone that I want. Because I'm working with a lot smaller space down here, closer to the neck. But I think this progression on page 38, I probably won't drill that. I just want to know the right chord. Because I can think of I might study this and figure out, now, how did you get an E7 out of that? And how did you get an E flat 6 out of that? And an E flat 6 is really a C minor chord. I might do that. I might look at that D flat 7 chord and say, okay, now I'm learning my B string. So it's worth looking at. I mean, it's your book. You drill it the way you want to drill it. The other thing, if I go back, let's go back to page 37, and I'm going to turn now my attention to my right hand, right? So before I strummed it, I could use a pick, but this time I'm going to try to pick it. Uh-oh. 1, 6. As soon as I changed my right hand, it's almost like I had to start all over again with this drill. Okay, well, let's see. Let me jump that a little bit. It's never too early to start getting some different kind of sounds out of your right hand as well. Now I'm playing 9 chords, but the work I'm doing is in my right hand. Let's do it off the 6th string. Now let's go all the way back to page 31, and let's see if we can go slow and pick that. So I just added a layer of difficulty into my practice time. But you know what, that sounded a little hokey, but that's what practice is. And you keep at it, you keep at it, you keep at it, you keep at it. You get a little bit faster, you get a little bit better. And but you made your practice time productive. In other words, you sat down with a purpose. You got a pretty good book in front of you, and you're growing. So some of you, this is pretty easy. I got it. But it's a nice review before you jump into these 9s and 11s. You know, so if I was really playing a C chord, might play something like that. Or maybe something like this. And you say, I can't see what you're playing because you moved your camera. So these are chords with extensions on them. There it is. If I was playing a G7 chord, that's the chord we just learned out of Arnie Berle, but watch this F over C. Here's a G13. But before you jump to these chords with extensions on them, it's a good idea to really nail down your basic 7 chords, your majors, your minors, all 4 inversions. Since there's 4 notes in that chord, they all have 4 inversions, and you should just be able to go up and down the neck and be able to choose them in songs whenever you want to. Alrighty, well, that's a little bit more Ernie. We will talk to you guys soon. You guys have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.